This is part 1 of a 3-part video series where in the first part we are going to have a look what I like or love about World of Tanks. The second one, what I hate about World of Tanks, and lastly how to fix World of Tanks in my view. This video idea was sparked by videos I saw by Spookston, which is a War Thunder content creator, and I will most likely do the same thing also about War Thunder because I do enjoy the play the game right now, but there are tons of things I don't really like either. So now let's just jump in with the first thing I like about World of Tanks. The first thing being there are many tanks in World of Tanks. It really is a world of tanks, and it's actually a very cool thing in my opinion, as it gives tons of variety in this game. It's really something which it's just interesting. Yes, there is a problem that usually there are only a small section of tanks which are meta and being used, but I do think that there is a decent chunk of difference here and there in the viability of tanks. Sure, 1-to-1 versus 430U won't be really useful because the 430U is still far more stronger and can bounce actually some shots while the 1-to-1 cannot. But, and here comes the big but, on for example tier 9 many tanks are still viable. You can still use them, you can still perform with them, on a matter that you can still even outperform strong-ish vehicles. So it's a good thing in my opinion, and it's fun to see that, for example, I can say, you know what, today I don't like going for speed boys, don't like to go for scout tanks or medium tanks. Now just play something like a T95 and go for the good old armor meta, and it can still work partially. The second one is probably very controversial to the War Thunder players out there, but I do enjoy the HP system in World of Tanks because there are only a select few cases where you can get truly one shot in World of Tanks, one of which being obviously facing off against the FV 4005 stage 2 or the 183 with their hash rounds, low tier artillery or maybe even high tier artillery, and the 3% chance, or excuse me, the 9% chance of getting ammo racked full HP. Those are things which are very rarely happening, at least the ammo racks and at least AM RT pen hits which one shot you. Sure, it happens more on low tier, but in general I do like the fact that there is an HP system in there because it allows you to make mistakes. And in the end, when you immediately make one mistake and, how shall we say, the thing you're receiving for that is like that and you're dead, not really that much fun. It really just kills the fun, or it frustrates really. It's the same thing if, for example, you make one tiny mistake in a very big engineering exercise and the teacher takes your paper and destroys it and says go again. You made somewhere a little mistake, you know. And in World of Tanks, it's also something which I very much enjoyed the HP buff for smaller tiers, is that you are allowed to make mistakes before you notice, oh scheiße, I got hit twice now, maybe I should back off and search a different position. In general, that's just something, again, for many tanks it just allows you to be not really unforgiving or something. It just allows you to be a little, have to make mistakes, you know, and learn from those mistakes. So that's a good thing. I really enjoyed that system about it, and it gives it also a little bit of predictability, which will be another point later down the road. One big thing out there is, and I was also talking about this with the people from our clan, from Automortis, and it's just competitiveness, the tourneers, and which are made from wargaming as well as from the community. I do like the competitiveness or the competitive aspect of World of Tanks. Clan Wars campaigns can be just electrifying. They can be so action-packed and so tactical when it comes to map plays, when it comes to alliances. Maybe even some, which Shakilsa would say is just, what is Tilt Will, for example. I guess that was his favorite name because Tilt and Inwill were working together to try to take away Fame's throne. But then again, this is like amazing, the tactical aspect, the ideas of some people want to work together to fuck up a bigger clan, to try to do the Scar stuff, long live the king, push him down from the throne and stuff like that. And in general, competitiveness is just such an insanely different aspect. In normal World of Tanks, in random games, I despise artillery and hate it, and I think it's fucking garbage and I should just get changed somehow. But in competitive, I have to say, when I get arted down and it is just what our field commander said I should be doing. Like, if he says, stay in this position as long as possible, try not to get spotted too much, and then getting RD'd, it's logical like getting RD'd. It's part of the competitive aspect. It's very important actually in competitive aspect. And again, it's kind of weird that in many competitive games, which are more open map focused, artillery usually deals the most amount of damage. Even though Wargaming says that artillery doesn't deal damage anymore. But in competitive situations, artillery is a key part of many games. And I just love the fact, for example, in Clan Wars, when you have Fog of War, you don't know what the enemy has. You have to adapt to their setup. And one very thing which just burned into my mind was a game against Tough G in the second to last Clan Wars campaign, where we had to play against them on Malinovka. I was playing in the EBR as I usually do, and they were camping. Like, they had 5 scouts, 1 or 2 EBRs, 1 T100 LT, and 2 Manticore, if I was not mistaken. Something like 3 Stritzwagens and 2 mediums, and I think the rest was RT, or just some more artists. I'm not sure anymore about the setup, but the point is, they were camping insanely hard. And we had like 3 EBRs because we kind of knew, or 4 even, we knew they were camping, so we had to take some more. We had 2 or 3 RTs, and they were camping all in the woods, so we had a very hard time to spot them in Malinovka. But we just started to guesstimate where they could be because of the map knowledge and our knowledge in general of the site system. So I was driving around, I got spotted at a point and was like, you know what, if I peek there, it's very real that maybe the enemy was in that bush over there, you know? So we said, RD, focus together, 3, 2, 1, click. 2 seconds later, there was a dead Manticore in that bush. And those feelings, when the team works together so well, is absolutely a joy in World of Tanks. It's something which I'm like, let's fucking go, boys! Like, you just go insane in those moments. It's just like, that's something I love about World of Tanks. Competitiveness is one of the biggest joys I have in this game. And now we segue to one thing we just talked about, and it's a site system. The site system, in my opinion, is one of the best things in World of Tanks because it has zero RNG. Because it's something it's reliable. You can always count on it, and it just feels, if you having a very good feeling about the site system in World of Tanks, you can dominate open-based maps like Proco, like Mali, like Redshire. It's so much fun when you know how to site system work. Yes, now it's a little bit harder to judge because of the CVR, the Commander Vision system, or CVS is called, I think. That's a little bit annoying, but other than that, it's still a very good thing. And heck, during my EPR 105 3 mark session in the beginning, where it was like at 5,300 for the 3rd mark, I made an Excel sheet to basically know at what when the enemy has like 400, 500 meters of view range, how open can I stand in the open field? And I knew that around 300 meters is a safe margin. But in general, the site system is a very cool thing in World of Tanks, and I think for people which are coming from War Thunder or other games, it's very weird. But if you get used to it, you start to enjoy it, because again, you are supposed to spot the people, and you can also do blind shots. And I think Skillful LTU is also somebody which says he loves to do blind shots, and it's also a very big aspect of the game, and something which is just amazing. Obviously, this can go for every game, but when you get one of those rounds, this carry game, 1v5, you win it, you get 10k damage, and you were able to actually win this game. You know, those are the games why you are usually playing World of Tanks, when everything works out. Your accuracy doesn't fuck you over, your damage doesn't fuck you over, your pen doesn't fuck you over. Everything just goes together perfectly, and you have the best game ever. For those games, it's sometimes very much worth to have 3 or 4 very shitty games right behind each other. It's just something which I just very much enjoy when you have one of those games where everything just falls into place. Your skill and the gun doesn't act up, the accuracy doesn't screw you over, everything just works out. And it's something which is very amazing, and I'm always it just feels like let's fucking go boys again when you have one of those amazing games. If you managed to watch until this point and you haven't already subscribed to my channel, please consider subscribing, because we are still going to have a look at some more things I like about World of Tanks, and again we are going to have a look at something differently. Another big aspect in my opinion in World of Tanks is the tactical aspect. Yes, randoms usually are chaotic, but there are rare instances where you can still play tactfully or with tactics with your team. And this is just a great feeling when, for example, you're just like 5 people left against 7 or 8. You're on Redshire, you're the only one scout left, and you start talking to your team. You start mashing your keys, telling them, yeah, I'm going there, I'm going there, I'm going there. What are you going to do? Did you got spotted and stuff like this? Where did you get shot from? Those are just, and then they tell you, and you can start spotting the people, and they get obliterated, the enemies, and it's just a great feeling. In general, the tactical aspect, and when you start to outplay somebody with your map knowledge, with your view range knowledge, and you do a double reversal, like for example, you are showing that you're going to the left side, but then you're going to the right side, but then you might think that you're going to the right side, you go left again, and you just outplay them. I guess the best example would be my EPR game on Ghost Town. I know a lot of people hate the EBR, but you have to say that this game was just great in that kind of regard. In general, World of Tanks is actually a very tactical game, which is a good thing. It feels not chaotic sometimes, especially in competitive, obviously, but also even in normal games, you can still play very tactical. The next point is a little bit controversial, I would say. It's gun marks. I do enjoy having gun marks. It's a nice little added bonus when you have your tank you like to play or a tank you don't like to play, and you suddenly have 3 stars, 3 rings on it, and you finally free marked it, showing to yourself and to other people that you're actually able to perform at the top level. Yes, gun marks can be triggering, yes, it can be frustrating here and there, but still I do enjoy the fact that gun marks exist, because they give for each individual tank something more unique to work for. And now with the progressive decals, we have also something for people which don't want to go for the 3rd gun mark. This one is also a controversial one. I'd say that Wargaming's World of Tanks is semi-predictable. When, for example, an enemy has 320 HP and you have a 390 alpha gun, the chances are very high that you will start to kill him with that shot. Sure, you can bounce, sure, you can low roll, but usually you will kill him. And that's just something I very much like about World of Tanks, because you can really very often just go for that. Obviously, when it's around 390 HP, you can't really say that you are going to kill him. You have to be careful and have to think that you most likely have to take another shot. But in general, the HP system is very predictable. And you know, for example, when I am playing the Prosciutto, usually I can get killed by 2 Prosciuttos in a matter of a clip. And so, for example, if you take the what's it called, the improved configurations, or the thing which gives you more HP, then usually this won't happen anymore. So the HP system in general goes hand in hand with being semi-predictable, which is something I like, because you can count on it in many ways, or in some ways. You can't always count on it, and it's a big part with RNG, and that's a can of worms I'm going to open in the other video, and something I very hate. But still, in many cases, you can kind of be, or kind of say, it is going to happen, I should be able to kill him when he has 320 HP with 390 alpha. The second to last point is good map knowledge will get rewarded, and that's something which I also very much enjoy, because it gives you a feeling of you being a good player gets actually rewarded. When you go into good position, when you know good positions in scouts, in mediums, and so on and so forth, you can already do a shite ton of work for your team. Even early spots can be very useful for a random team, you know? So knowing the basic positions is, in my opinion, like probably the first thing you have to learn about World of Tanks. You don't really need to have amazing aim like the kills or anything, because usually I feel like most engagements in World of Tanks, you don't have to have the best aim, especially when you're playing something like a medium or a light or even a TD. Sure, heavies versus heavies, Super Conqueror, yes, it's a great tank to learn how to aim properly, but again, usually you don't really need that, and I think map knowledge and after that the sight system is so much more important to know than having actually very, very good aim. Maybe some people from Fame will disagree with that one. I'm pretty sure that Hershno from Fame, or Hersh, Sexy Hershey, would disagree. Kihen will most likely disagree. But I think the map knowledge is the most important one, and if you know the maps very good, you will get rewarded handsomely. And lastly, platoons. I play too little platoons in my opinion. I have to play more platoons actually, because platoons in general, yeah, they make the game much more fun. And sometimes solo you can't really carry that much, while in platoon you can carry, and especially if you're playing with somebody which is good at the game, it's just joy. It's honestly just joy, and it's just amazing to play together and have fun together when you know you can carry out those games. So yes, search yourself a platoon buddy which is on your skill level, maybe a little bit higher or so, and just go to town. It's a lot more fun. But, and there's a big but though, have a look that your platoon buddy isn't tilting as quickly as you do, or doesn't tilt at all. Because one thing I personally noticed while I was playing with other people, and I also got friends which I kind of like to talk to, I don't really like to play with them because they tilt even faster than I do, and suddenly it's either him being insanely loud or constantly talking about garbage, or me, or I start to get also loud and we're like apes which just want to be louder than each other. So that's something you have to take this with a little bit of grain of salt. So yeah, but platoons in general, it's a cool thing when you have a great platoon buddy and you can have a lot of fun together. So yeah, that's everything I like about World of Tanks which came to my mind in the last couple of days. Again, let me know in the comment section below what you like about World of Tanks, if you like anything about World of Tanks, because sometimes what I've experienced in game can be very bad. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Again, let me know in the comment section below what you think. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. My name is RagingRaptor. Cheers, good luck on the battlefield, and I see you in the Why I Hate World of Tanks video. Cheers, boys.